Hello, it's me, your podcast host, followed by Keith, your other podcast host. For this week in podcasting history, same as it was last week, where we talk about news and review things and talk bollocks. How are we doing, Keith?
Well, you do. Yeah, we talk bollocks. I'm doing all right. Yes, went to cinema earlier. Saw. I'm not going to admit to what I saw.
Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
I've got that tomorrow. Family day out
yeah.
for that one.
So done that one. Yeah, good week. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just had some news and bits. Interesting week, shall we say?
It is. What shall we start with?
We've got quite a lot of stories this week, haven't we? We've got 5.
I think we've got a few to get through. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which one do I start with? I really have no idea this one. No, I can't do this one. Sorry. I've realised I've made a bit of a faux pas here, where I have not set the thing up ready to go so I can press the button. But hey.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Scottish actor Richard Madden, renowned for his performance in Game of Thrones and Bodyguard, is reportedly the leading candidate for the next 007 in Amazon's upcoming reboot of the franchise. Madden portrayed Robert Stark in showcased his ability to lead with charisma and intensity, whilst his Golden Globe-winning role in The Bodyguard demonstrated his aptitude for complex, action-driven characters. These performances have positioned him as a strong fit for the suave yet sophisticated, formidable British spy James Bond. The James Bond franchise is undergoing significant changes, with Amazon MGM Studios acquiring the rights and appointing Amy Pascal and David Heyman as producers. This transition marks a new era for 007, aiming to blend traditional elements with a fresh perspective. Whilst Madden is a predominant contender, other actors like Aaron Taylor-Johnson have also been linked to the role. Taylor-Johnson's recent association with Omega, the watch brand synonymous with Bond, has fueled speculation about his potential casting. As the franchise evolves, fans are eagerly awaiting official announcements regarding to the next James Bond. So, what do we think?
There are worse candidates out there.
Yep.
I think I liked Aaron Taylor-Johnson in Bullet Train. I didn't think he was. I'm not sure he could do Bond. I think Richard Madden could do Bond. He was quite good in The Bodyguard. He was less great in The Eternals, but then no one was great in The Eternals.
No one was great in The Eternals. No one.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was still sort of holding out hope for Henry Cavill, but I mean, it is a huge undertaking to do Bond.
Yeah.
And Madden hasn't done a lot recently. I don't, Aaron Taylor-Johnson was in the running when Barbara Broccoli was in charge.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill was muted around when Amazon took over, but this is the first sort of proper one that's come out, and bookies are sort of taking bets on again. The thing is, right, somebody did an AI thing the other day of Pierce Brosnan coming back as an old Bond, right? But they had him facing Blofeld with the white cap, but when it zooms out, it's freaking Jeff Bezos, isn't it, right? And because Bezos is bald, I was like, oh my god, he's got his own rockets, right? Even though they are shaped like cocks. He's got his own rockets. He's got his... He's probably got enough money to build a secret base somewhere, right? He's definitely got enough money to build a base on the moon, right? He is fucking Blofeld, isn't he? And now he's bought James Bond, so The thing was, it kind of worked. I mean, some of it was really bad because AI, but Brosnan's old Bond kind of worked. I haven't seen today's Mobland, by the way, but I don't know. There was a part of me who's going like old James Bond. That could be with Brosnan, could be quite cool, because I think Brosnan could still pull it off. I mean, he's still a fucking handsome bastard, even at his age. He's a fucking bugger. But I don't know. Richard Madden. Yeah, I think it could work.
I think it could work too. Wouldn't be my choice. My choice is Henry Cavill first, and then going from there. But it's one of those things where it's...
if they're gonna cast, I still like that. Infinitely prefer that to some other casting rumors. Fresh new take. Depends what that means. Because fresh new takes at the moment often mean what we don't want them to mean, and then nothing fresh about them. It's just cliche bullshit. But no, look, Madden could work. I'd be interested if it was Madden. I mean, my first choice is Cavill as well, but I'm not sure he would do it. But yeah, no, not bad casting. But no,
not bad.
Bond has been taken over by Spectre. Just saying.
It's weird because he kind of makes me. He comes across as more Doctor Evil.
Yeah.
Especially with what's that? It's a Wang. Have you seen this out the window? It looks like a giant cock. That's what I'm. When you say Jeff Bezos as a James Bond villain, I picture Doctor Evil from Austin Powers.
He generally does have a rocket shaped like a penis.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch, but hopefully, I think can he do the role? Yeah, he can do the role. Do I want him to do the role? Not sure, but hey, it's one of those things. It will. We'll see when it gets there. We will see when it gets there, but at the moment, it's still up in the air. There's nothing official. See, I think what it is that agents are throwing things out to make people go, ooh, and then they go, look at all the interactions we had on social media with Richard Madden being so-and-so.
It could be that, but to be honest, I'm expecting an announcement any day, because I think Amazon are keen to get this movie into the cinemas now. It's been a few years without a Bond movie. It's been quite a long gap without a Bond movie. I think they want to get the ball rolling. It wouldn't surprise me if this is more than that, and that he actually has been cast. But who knows? There have been other actors, But this is the first one I've heard with that the mainstream media is picking up on. Since the Amazon takeover, put it that way. Yeah.
True.
Anyway.
True. Pretty interesting. Yeah. This one will do actually.
Say, hold up, wait a minute.
Recent reports have ignited discussions about Ncuti Gatwa's future as the 15th Doctor. Some outlets suggest that Gatwa has departed after season 2, citing declining viewership and controversial storylines. However, the BBC has officially dismissed his claims as pure speculation, stating that the decision regarding the third series will be made after the current season concludes. Gatwa's portrayal of the Doctor has been groundbreaking, fresh energy to the role. His tenure has been marked with a commitment to inclusivity and storytelling that reflects contemporary issues. All woke bullshit. While some narratives have sparked debates amongst fans for dealing with the politics of hate, most appreciate the show's evolution under Gatwa's leadership. No, they haven't. You've lost about 3 million 3.5 million people just on overnights. As we wait for official announcements about the show's future, it's clear that Doctor Who continues to be a cultural touchstone. That's why they wanted to capture it. Inspiring passions and discussions and diverse perspectives. Yes, but you won't listen to the diverse perspectives because Gatwa's portrayal of the Doctor is shit. That's it. He's terrible. He doesn't save anyone. That's the first thing. That's my first problem about him as Doctor. He saves no one. Everyone else is doing the saving. Everything I've seen, every clip or review of it, someone else is doing the saving. Yeah, not them. No. And it's got stuff in there that's just bullshit, yeah? Stuff that's focused at, 4% of the population for a family show. What are you doing? Stop it now. Get out of your fucking bubble. But I heard... Sorry, I'm eating some chocolate. I heard that one of the reasons that this story came out, that he was supposed to do the announcements on Eurovision and refused to do so because of Israel. And because of that, they had a big falling out. And that's where this story's come from with the speculation and stuff, because I don't know if he's been fired over the fact that he wouldn't do that because the Israelis were part of the Eurovision Song Contest, which they've been part of since as long as I've been alive, even though they're not part of Europe.
Yeah, but
then again, Russia's in there too.
When you live in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
But I mean that's getting into politics. But yes, I heard the same rumours. I do want to say something. I have not enjoyed his portrayal of the Doctor for the most part. Last week's episode was mostly terrible, but the moments when he went dark, he's quite good. I want to say something. I've watched quite a few videos this week, and one of them I got quite pissed off with, because you can criticise Doctor Who. Absolutely, you can criticise Doctor Who, and absolutely, you can criticise his portrayal. But people have called him a talentless actor, and that's just not true.
No, I'm with that. I think he's a talentless actor because he can only do one type of character.
No, he's not. I've seen him in numerous parts. He was in... he played one of the American... I can't remember their name, but he was in the bombing thing, the continuation, the World War thing on Apple last year, and he played one of those black pilots that did all the dangerous missions, and he was quite good in that. I think he gets typecast into roles. He is quite good when he goes dark with the Doctor. I don't think he's a talentless actor, and I think that is a slightly disingenuous thing to say if you hate the show. I don't like the show. I think the show's bad. And I don't. And if it is him ad-libbing the crying, then he clearly doesn't understand the Doctor. But he does. There has been some sort of darker points with the Doctor in the last few weeks, and I think he kind of nailed some of that. The bit where he was like basically torturing this guy last week, that did kind of work for me. I do think he has talent. I think he is typecast because he is so camp naturally. And that happens a lot with camp actors. I mean, Hollywood talking about diverse. How about you give, camp actors a bit more of a... give them a bit more of a role. Give them something to get their thing into. You only ever seem to... You typecast these type of people. And I think he's been typecast slightly. But going back to Doctor Who, I mean, this week's one, Imagination, what was it? No, Wish World. I'm trying to remember the name. It didn't have that much of a... there were just terrible lines in it. Like, I mean, the Doctor was not flirting, but talking to the very... The handsome sort of sergeant guy that works for UNIT, the slightly Arabian-looking guy. And he said, "Oh, you're a beautiful man." Yeah, other men can't think other men are beautiful. And it's just like, really? Really? You're going to inject politics into every single story? And the thing is, the UK's not homophobic, really, anymore.
No.
I mean, arguably, there are still people that are, right? But as a rule, most people accept it these days without being derogatory. And most people don't even bother staring when they see two men out in the streets holding hands. It's kind of accepted. If you were in Russia, I might understand some of these storylines. I can understand the odd one, right? Here and there.
If you're anywhere outside the Western world.
Yeah, I mean, the US is arguable that I can understand how some people are feeling in the US at the moment, but that's a political thing I don't want to get into. But it's every fucking episode, right? And then we had all the disabled people being ignored, and therefore they were remembering things. And I'm sorry, but the actress that they've got in unit, this disabled actress, she just comes across as obnoxious. And I mean obnoxious and fucking entitled. And no offence, right? I don't care that you're in a wheelchair, right? Obnoxious behaviour and entitled behaviour, it's not acceptable in anyone. Right? And they keep writing these characters like this. These diverse characters. They just write them. I'm sorry, I'm going to use this. They're just complete cunts. And that's what they write them as. And, you know, I mean, as what was it that Clarkson said to Caleb? Because I know you've watched it. You've watched
Cunt flu.
Cunt flu. That had me in fucking fits. That had me in fits of laughter. They've all got it. I mean, you know, there would have been a time when bringing back the Rani, right, and then, right, not being content with bringing back the Rani, then bringing back Omega, we would have been sitting here going, oh my God, I never thought they would do this, right? And we would have been waxing lyrical about it. Now we're just like, meh. It's literally, it is at that point where I am meh. Because I stopped caring. I watched that one episode last week, and it was not last week, a couple of months ago, and that you told me to watch. And I watched it, and I'm like, this is what Doctor Who is now. It's not. Can you just tell me a story? Seriously, tell me a story. Something interesting. Yeah. The problem is that these sort of political identity politics or messages that that Davies wants to send, they are not. They're bolted on. They're shoehorned in. They're stuck. They are so cliche. They are so not clever. I mean, by generation. Really?
Oh, fuck that. Oh, fuck that right off.
Yeah, and then to do it twice.
Do you know what the really annoying thing is? I felt that was really fucking, disrespectful to Ncuti Gatwa. We're so insecure about you being the Doctor, we're going to keep the other one around.
And interestingly, right, this episode, and I think, and I'm prepared to stand wrong, I think they're going to slightly undo the Timeless Child.
Slightly.
Well, here's the thing, right? The Doctor in this wish world that was created by that obnoxious guy that was in one of the episodes that was kind of like a conspiracy theorist wanker. He is creating the world that everybody lives in, right? And the Doctor is affected by this with Belinda, and they have a child, which just so happens to be about a 4 to 5 year old little black girl with a bobble haircut like that. It looks awfully like the little black girl that stood by the tower, right? And as the Doctor's falling off the platform at the end, he goes, "You don't understand. She's real." And I went, hang on a second. Is she going to be, because we know from the Timeless Child, little black baby girl found alone, is the Doctor going to sort of do some kind of timey-wimey loop thing and be his own father, which will change the Timeless Child again, right? And somehow, you know, and I'm just the way that thought. I just thought, is he going to undo the Timeless Child? And the BBC go, there we go, we've undone the Timeless Child, and just make it that much more lame. The gay doctor had a child with Belinda, right? And you still had that American geezer who comes back from the depths of hell to tell the doctor he loves him. So, you know, the asexual doctor, right, who only ever had one relationship with Rose because of what Rose did, right? And Rose's character absolutely fucking earned that with Bad Wolf and everything else, right? When writing was good, right? And then he kind of, you know, again with River Song, to a certain extent, River Song kind of earned that. This asexual doctor, you know, will flirt with every man and, you know, basically get off with every man that walks around the corner. So basically, the doctor's a bit of a slag now.
Yeah, true. It's bollocks.
It is absolute bollocks. And I don't quite understand how the BBC, you know, are getting away with it. I mean, they're saying they haven't made a decision. I mean, the rumour is that there has been a regeneration scene filmed. If I had any money, right, usually would have an announcement by now. We haven't got one. Again, to undo the Timeless Child, I suspect that the Doctor will generate into Joe Martin. I'm probably wrong, but you know, I'm just calling it now because you know I haven't got anything.
Is it wrong that Chris Stewart will sing better?
No.
God, that's so fucked.
You see, here's the thing, right? Again, the sequel to Midnight, in some ways, was a very clever episode, but he interjected it with, again, putting the deaf person in there worked as part of the story, but that's not why he did it. And because that's not why he did it, he writes it as that's not why he did it. Had it just started with the concept of this something behind you, and then making the person deaf because it makes it that much more scary, and not basically poking, look at how inclusive we are, and poking great big neon signs saying deaf person, dwarf, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're not normalizing it, right? And it's this whole thing. They're still doing this whole thing with Mavity, and the only reason that they're doing that is Russell T Davies is a vindictive fucker, right? And wants people to remember that he cast an Indian guy as Sir Isaac Newton.
It's strange because when you talk about a deaf person, Doctor, I think of Under the Lake. Do you remember the episode Under the Lake with Peter Capaldi? Yeah. And there's a great bit where the deaf person's being how can I put it? The people are behind her and she can't hear them, and she puts her hands on the floor and she feels them coming through the floor. And that was handled much, much better. But
it wasn't inclusive casting. That person just happened to be there and you believed it. It wasn't like they were, this person is deaf, look at us. Right? But that's what Davis is doing. Davis is basically, you know, a gay, normal white guy, right, with no real disabilities, is basically going, look at me, look at how virtuous I am, and that's what he's doing, and that's why he bangs on about it in every interview, and it's why when you see these characters, because of the way they're written, they are so jarring. I don't want to notice that this person is a dwarf or this person is deaf in a way that I go like this, because again it's cliche and it's not done with the right intentions.
It's and I
find it annoys me that I have that reaction, because that's not who I am, but at the same time, this is not the reason they do it. And you know, reminding us every single episode that the Doctor is now gay. The Doctor shouldn't be anything. The Doctor is the Doctor.
Yeah.
right? We've had lesbian relationships, gay relationships throughout the whole thing. This isn't inclusive. This is very much one thing. And then you wonder why people sort of say to you that you're sort of
being
ramming
tokenistic
agendas. Yeah.
It's like kind of, look, we've got a disabled person. That person's disabled. They're disabled. Look, we'll make a comment about someone being disabled. Someone will be an arsehole about them being disabled. Then another person will make a comment. But it won't be an arsehole comment. It'll just be a, oops, I made a whoopsie comment. But they're disabled. Look at them. Look how disabled they are. With a disability. Doing disabled things. Like that. That's what it is. That's what they... When you say hitting you over the head with stuff, that's how they're responding. And it's shit. Yeah? It is really shit. It's not just a case of this person's here. Tell me about your character. Are you an arsehole? Are you a good guy, a bad guy? You know, can we depend on you? Are you on our side or are you on bad guy's side? Yeah, that normal stuff, but can't do that. Anyway,
it's because it's been so done to death by the media now that it's so overly represented. It is not representation anymore. It's
tokenism.
It's over the top.
It's tokenism. That's what it is.
But it's over the top. It's gone too far. And now it's smashing back, and people wonder why. It's just bad. It's bad. And you know, the ratings are bad because Doctor Who is bad. And it's a shame because the production values of Doctor Who have been amazing, and they've squandered it.
Yeah.
And you had the time to make the show. Oh God, I'm going to say this. You know, they had the chance to make the show good again. I'm changing the word because I can't quite bring myself to say that. You know, and they squandered it, and wonder why the ratings are so low. And it's not. I keep saying this. It's because people are you know, fed up of shit movies. It's not fatigue for superheroes. It's not Doctor Who fatigue. It's shit Doctor Who fatigue. People are mourning these shows because look at fucking Andor and look at what it's done. People were saying, and we'll talk about it because this week it's quite incredible what's happened, and it all leads back to just because somebody let somebody make a quality show. And, the fans responded. We're going, this is actually quite good. I'm enjoying this. Let's geek out about this. I'm enjoying this. I might want to play a game. I'm playing Battlefield 2 again. Why did they never make a Battlefield 3? They really should make a Star Wars Battlefield 3. This was so good. I'll watch Rogue One again. What's the trend? The highest rated movie currently on Disney Plus? Fucking Rogue One. What did Picard Season 3 do? These shows are dead right now because they're shit. Right? Make good stuff. They will come. And they have. Because at the end of the day, we still love Star Wars. We still love Doctor Who. We still love Star Trek. We just hate shit Star Wars, shit Doctor Who, and shit Star Trek. Make good Star Trek. We will come back to it. We say we won't, but you know we will, because we did in Picard Season 3. We said we wouldn't fucking ever watch Star Wars again. We watched Andor, fucking loved it, right? It's the same. Make good Doctor Who, we'll be back. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, right? But that just goes to the point of, you're making shit. And that's why people are not watching. And stop telling people it's fatigue, because it's bullshit.
No,
it's not fatigue. You make a good fucking Marvel movie, I'll be the first person in there geeking out about it. And so will every other Marvel fan, because we just want good quality stuff. That's all we want. It's not that fucking difficult.
All right, let's play this one, especially for Russell T Davies.
You're a cunt.
Marvel Studios has officially postponed the release of its upcoming Avengers film, Avengers Doomsday. is now set to premiere on the 18th of December 2026, moving from its original May 2026 slot. Similarly, Avengers Secret Wars has been pushed to December 17th, 2027 from its initial May 2027 release date. These delays are attributed to the ambitious scope of the project, and the Russo brothers returning directly to both films aim to deliver a cinematic experience that matches or surpasses the scale of Infinity War and Endgame. Production for Doomsday commenced on April 2025 at Pinewood Studios in England, expected to continue for approximately 6 months. The castings are equally exciting. Robert Downey Jr. returns to the MCU, but not as Iron Man. No, portraying the iconic villain Doctor Doom. The ensemble cast includes Pedro fucking Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Chris Hemsworth, Florence Pugh. Additional actors from the original X-Men series, such as Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, set to reprise their role, hinting at a multiverse-spanning narrative. In the interim months, Marvel fans can look forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day, set to release July 31st, 2026. Now, my brain says it's one of two things, yeah? The Russo brothers got the script and went, what the fuck is this? Yeah? They booked everything, yeah? And they got that draft of the script and they just went, what the fuck is this shit? No wonder you spend so much money on reshoots. Let's go and put a decent script together. That's what I'm hoping it is. That's the thing. Because you hear it's like Fantastic Four's got reshoots at the moment, yeah? You heard about that? So Fantastic Four's got a ton of reshoots. Every Marvel thing, Daredevil had a ton of reshoots, yeah? Everything's got fucking reshoots. It's because they announce it, but they don't have a fucking script. They don't even have a fucking treatment, yeah? And without a treatment, without a script, yeah, you cannot fucking deliver anything. No, you fail to plan, you plan to fail, yeah? And they're planning to fail every time they release these without scripts. So when it comes to this, I'm hoping that they've gone, right, okay, you know what? Let's not piss away large chunks of money. Get everyone in the thing. Let's hammer this script out and get something decent out. So we're not having to come back and do an extra 3 months worth of re-fucking shoots. But, Keith, this is the funny thing is, you and I know that in October next year, we're going to hear the following. Avengers Doomsday is having to go back for extensive reshoots. Because that's what Disney do, and they are terrible at it, and they're pissing away large sums of cash because they do not plan.
They don't learn.
There you go.
You're absolutely right. They don't learn from their mistakes. They made this announcement at Comic-Con, and they clearly didn't even have a script, right? And they didn't even have a story. They had an idea, probably how to bring Robert Downey Jr. back, but they had nothing beyond that, and that's why it's only just begun production or shooting. Right? And of course it was going to be delayed. I mean, everybody was saying, look at how many people are in this movie. They're going to do this in a year? No, is the answer. They're not going to do this in a year. But they don't learn. Here's the thing, right? A few years ago, a trailer came out for a video game movie. And the whole internet went, that looks really shit. What did the director do, Gareth? Sonic. What did the director do?
He went back and changed the CGI characters to make sure it looked good.
Yes, but he didn't just do that. He went, you know what, guys? You're right. We fucked up. Pretty sorry about that. We're going to fix it. And the internet went, good guy. And what did the internet do? It supported them. For the most part. There was the odd tosser on the internet, but for the most part, the internet went, yep. Right? Why can't Marvel just fucking have come out on stage at Comic-Con and gone, you know what, Marvel movies, we hear you. You know, they haven't been up to the standards that we want them to be, the standards that you want them to be. We're going to do better, right? Here's the thing. Robert Downey Jr., he's coming back, but not as you know it, and we're not going to tell you anymore. We'll let you know at the next Comic-Con. Give us a couple of years. We're going to cancel, we're still doing Spider-Man 4 because we've got a bloody good story for that. But after that, give us a couple of years and we'll come back with something you're going to fucking love. right? And the internet would have gone, fair play to you. Because most people, right, are actually pretty decent, right? The sort of twats are in their minority. The trouble is now, right, the twats are hidden on the internet because everybody's saying the same thing. So you don't see the twats on the internet anymore because they've kind of in a jungle of everybody saying the same thing because it's shit. This goes back to the last thing. All you have to do is say, you fucked up. Sorry, we're going to make some good movies. Most people will go, all right, fair play. You've copped up to it, right? If Catherine Kennedy came out tomorrow and gone, do you know what? Sequel trilogy, we kind of fucked that up. We see that you love Andor. Most of you love Andor. You know, we hear you, right? Give us a couple of, all the announcements we made, we're rolling them back, and then we're going to have a look at this, and we'll come back to you with, something decent. How many people will go, all right, fair enough, Kathy? Because if it's true that Kennedy did support this project, there's a hit. Now you can fuck off, Kathy. But if you come back and say, but do you get what I mean? I mean, yeah. I genuinely think that if people, if they just sort of owned up to this, I think they would have a lot of support. I just do. I'm not surprised that the movies have been delayed. They were trying to do too much, and in not enough time. But I think you're right. Come October next year, put in a pin in it. We'll be hearing about because they don't learn.
No.
And actually, nothing the Russo brothers has done since Infinity War has been any good.
That was Extraction with Chris Hemsworth on Netflix, but it was a Netflix movie.
Was that Russo brothers?
Yes, that was the Russos.
Really?
That's the only thing I can point at. That
okay, Extraction really 1 and 2 were quite good. So I'm wrong.
That's why Chris Hemsworth. That's one of the reasons that Chris Hemsworth was in it too. But would that have worked in cinema? No. Okay. All right. So Kathleen Kennedy, I think we'll have one of these.
Put a ticket in, make a name again.
Ryan Reynolds, renowned for his role as Deadpool, has recently revealed he pitched an R-rated Star Wars film to Disney. However, he clarified it doesn't. He had to clarify it didn't intend to star in it. Instead, Ryan Reynolds envisaged himself as a writer co-producer of the project. Speaking on the Box Office podcast, Reynolds emphasized that that his concept isn't about adding vulgarity to Star Wars. He described the R-rated thing as a Trojan horse for emotion, aiming to explore deeper, more mature themes through lesser-known characters. He questioned why the studio is hesitant at taking creative risks with established franchise. Hang on a moment. Disney has yet to comment on Ryan Reynolds' proposal. The studio's upcoming Star Wars films are including Mandalorian Grogu, set for the 27th of May 2026. Star Wars Starfighter, starring Ryan Gosling, for 28th of May 2027. We did get one of them. It was called Andor.
It's done very, very well. But I don't think the studio believed in it. I don't think Disney believed in it. That's why they chucked out 3 episodes at a time. That's why there wasn't a huge fanfare about it when it came out. And it's taken... The rumours are it's absolutely shocked Disney on how well it's done, because it's done a Picard Season 3. It started off very quiet. It got a bit of controversy because of a rape scene that is actually... I think it's...
The fact she took up the fucking hammer to the Imperial officer cheered me up.
I actually think... I mean, they were far fucking worse. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at bloody... Jabba the Hutt and Leia. I mean, seriously? Right, you're complaining about... It really annoys me, this, because... It's these overgrown Boy Scouts that have thrown their toys out of pram about a scene that actually absolutely fitted into the story that they were trying to tell. They were telling a human story. The Empire is human, right? That George Lucas always intended that, and it completely fit. They made the Empire scary.
Yes,
And that's what
competent.
the Empire was meant to be. And now you watch that. You watch Andor season 1. You watch Andor season 2. You watch Rogue One, and then you watch New Hope, and they just flow beautifully. Right? I mean, what that has done is it has complemented the Star Wars world, and it works. It totally works. And it's made me love that part of Star Wars again. It genuinely has. I've watched Andor all again. I've watched it all the way through in a week because there were so many things that were seeded in that first season that I'd forgotten about because of the huge gap between them that was there. And then when you watch season 2 again, it's just like all these payoffs that are in season 2. And it's tragic. It's beautiful. It's incredibly well written. And it makes me appreciate it even more. And the fact that the people are beginning to discover this and find it. I love the fact that Rogue One is the #1 trending movie on Disney Plus. All of a sudden in Battlefront 2, I can play Battlefront 2 again. Like, put people in there this week. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was no one in there, and now they're all in there. And now there's call for Battlefront 3. It's all you have to do is make good stuff.
Yeah, true. It's but going back to Ryan Reynolds, because when I heard that, my brain went, it's Deadpool in fucking Star Wars, isn't it? Could you imagine Deadpool in the Star Wars universe? They could do it if they really wanted. They could do that just as like a one-off comedy sort of thing. The Christmas special, Deadpool Star Wars Christmas special.
Deadpool kills the Star Wars universe. Yeah,
yeah, that would be quite good.
I actually believe that he put. I think an R-rated movie set in the Star Wars universe can work because I think you have an expansive universe, right? And what a lot of these supposed fans seem to forget is that there is an extended world out there of Star Wars. There is a vast number of novels, comics that Disney got rid of, but they weren't all the same. They weren't all Jedi and space battles. There are some really, really great novels, like the Thorn set of novels, which are all, quite grounded, a bit like Andor, very adult, and they were very popular. There absolutely is space for things like, space pirates, right? Goonies in Space, which, again, it should have been given more love than it got. It was actually pretty good, right? And it was a kid's show, and it was great. And there's room for both. There's room for both in this. It's an entire fucking galaxy, right? And as long as you stick the odd recognisable thing in there, absolutely you can play in this universe. It's the biggest universe that Disney has got to play in, right? It's much more. It's much more vast than the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can do a lot. Just make decent stuff. That's all you've got to do. And if I were them, I'd be throwing a fucking ton of money at Tony Gilroy and say, look, go and write something, go and make a couple of movies, and then come back in a few years' time and make something else in the Star Wars universe. We really want you back, right? And we really want you, we'll give you a free fucking hand. You do what you want. You tell us what you want to do in the Star Wars universe, and we'll fucking give you the money.
I would sit there and go, Tony, we need you to do what you did production-wise with Andor. That was fantastic. But if you can just aim it at the family so everyone can come and watch it so we can get the most amount of people here, the best. That's what I'd say to him.
I don't know if that's his, but that's not his wheelhouse. He's about human story. The people that were behind the Goonies in Space thing, they deserve some love. If they actually made Mandalorian with Grogu, people enjoyed that, right? I know what you said about it. I agree with you, but it was genuinely quite popular, right? And again, there is room for characters like Grogu, who's a cute little thing that sells lots of merchandise for Disney, as long as it's made well, which season 1 and 2 were not that bad. Then you went off the fucking reservation with I don't know what Book of Boba fucking Fett, and then you came back with The Mandalorian, which wasn't about the fucking Mandalorian. I mean, it's almost like Dave Filoni got completely fucking poked with the wokey pokey stick.
He was always poked with a wokey pokey stick.
He wasn't though. Not.
He was. He
Well-
was.
Something changed between season 2 of Mandalorian, and then we got Book of Boba Fett with a couple of Mandalorian episodes sort of pushed in there for some fucking random reason, right? It was an absolute fucking mess. Why didn't you have Boba as a side character in The Mandalorian season 3 instead of doing the Book of Boba and having Boba Fett ride a it's a fucking, you know, it's just like really, it's fucking fan fiction.
Yes.
But look, I mean, I don't think Disney are going to listen because they don't learn from their mistakes. And I think they're going to do exactly what Star Trek did and squander all this love they're getting right now. Because there's too many shows in the pipeline which have already been made and we know they're going to be shit. So, Ahsoka season 2.
Yay. Yay. I've crossed over into another galaxy to tell you that I think we should still be friends. Sorry, Ezra, I know you've been just it might have been the one thing that you're holding on to. But, yeah, we should just be friends.
It was...
Oh, yeah, and I'm a
Ahsoka
Jedi
season
now.
2 is whoever they got in to do the fight choreography was shit, right? I mean, because the lightsaber battles were just pants, right? And she's a fully trained fucking Jedi, right? Her fight scene in The Mandalorian season 2 was way better than this. I mean, she fucking emoted in the Book of Boba Fett. She smiled in the Book of Boba Fett, and she smiled a little bit in the Mandalorian when she turned up there. When she was in that, she was quite good. When she got her own show, it was permanent fucking bitch face, right? And fighting like she just walked out of a care home.
The worst thing is the moment Hayden Christensen turned up, he fucking showed her up.
Yes.
He's just like kind of, and it's just like kind of wow. It's like kind of, dude, this is like this. If you had him and Ewan McGregor fighting, still, you much better. But hey, it's one of those things. That's for Kathleen Kennedy.
Women, know your limits.
So, the latest buzz surrounding Marvel's upcoming film Spider-Man Brand New Day, set to release July 31st, 2026, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. The installment promises to introduce a fresh lineup of adversaries for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Scorpion returns. Michael Mando is reportedly reprising his role as Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion, character briefly introduced in Spider-Man Homecoming. In the comics, Scorpion is known for his formidable strength, mechanical tail, which makes him a significant threat to Spider-Man. Tombstone, another villain rumoured to appear, is Tombstone, notorious crime boss with superhuman strength and durability. Known for his deep ties to New York's criminal underworld, Tombstone's inclusion could signal a grittier street-level conflict for the film. Boomerang. Boomerang is a villain with a history of both antagonism and reluctant alliances with Spider-Man. Also speculated to join the cast. In the comic books, Boomerang has even been portrayed by Peter Parker's roommate, adding a layer of complexity to their relations. Potential gang war. The inclusion of these villains hints at a possible gang war narrative with Spider-Man caught in the crossfire. Storyline could explore the power struggles in New York's criminal landscape, offering a fresh take on Spider-Man challenges. And then we've got Sadie Sink, adding intrigue. Stranger Things star Sadie Sink has been cast as undisclosed role. Whilst suggests that she may play Mayday Parker, Spider-Man's daughter from an alternate universe, nothing has been confirmed. Stay tuned as we continue to follow updates on Spider-Man Brand New Day with a blend of classic villains and new faces. The film is shaping up to be a thrilling addition to the Marvel Cinematic Cinematic
I sent you a
Universe.
separate story about Sadie Sink, so that's combined.
We'll do that in a moment.
One story. Yeah, I get it now.
You want to do that because I've got notes for that. Because for Sadie Sink, yeah. So Sadie Sink, renowned for her role in Stranger Things, has been cast in upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day, while a character remains undisclosed. Theories and speculations. Mayday Parker. One of the prevailing theories is that Sink could portray May Parker or Mayday Parker, the daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson from alternate universe. This character is also known as Spider-Girl in the comics, would introduce a multiversal element to the film. No, don't do it. Align with the MCU's recent exploration of alternate realities. Such a role would be significant, potentially tying her to a broader narrative leading up to the Avengers Secret War. Jean Grey, too young. Another speculation is that Sink may be stepping into the role of Jean Grey, a powerful mutant member of the X-Men. Given the MCU's plans to integrate mutants into its storyline, introducing Grey through a Spider-Man film could be a strategic move. However, some industry insiders have noticed complications with this theory, particularly regarding the production credits and rights. The other possibilities: Gwen Stacy. Fans have floated the idea that Sadie Sink will be playing Gwen Stacy. Yeah, that's a good possibility. Felicia Hardy, it's a bit ginger for Black Cat, or Firestar. Which possible? She looks a bit like Firestar from when I was a kid watching those cartoons.
Yeah.
Each character has a
she's a bit
ginger.
She's a bit ginger for
Ginger for Black Cat. Black
Gwen
Cat.
Stacy as well.
Well, no, because you can dye her blonde, and that'll probably get you closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the characters has a rich history with Spider-Man universe. Got to offer a fresh dynamic for the stories. Black Cat's complex relationship with Spider-Man. What's the new one they've got? Silk. The spider person that they had looked up, character called Silk. I
do remember. I roughly know what you're talking about. The Mayday Parker thing, the fact that this has just suddenly come up, I think that's true.
No, don't do multiverse. Don't do multiverse stuff.
X-Men are not turning up until the Secret Wars. They can do the multiverse because the multiverse is ending, but I don't think they're going to do. It could be Mayday Parker. It could be Mayday Parker trapped. I don't know. It's not Mary Jane, right? Because Zendaya's in the movie.
I would prefer it if it was Mary Jane, because she looks like Mary Jane. She actually looks like Mary Jane, where MJ, whatever her name is, Zendaya doesn't.
You see, the thing was, right, in the comics, MJ was hot. She was hot, right? And they always sort of, no offense to any of the actresses that have played MJ, the MJ in the comics is hot, right? And then in the game, they made her even more fucking ugly in the second game. They deliberately made her more ugly in the second game. Sadie Sink she's a nice looking actress, but she's not MJ. Not MJ from the comics. But they've already got an MJ. That's Zendaya. It would absolutely make no sense to have another MJ, right? In this universe. They've already done MJ. They can't do the fact. I don't think it's Gwen Stacy, because they've done Gwen Stacy and they seem to have this thing, we're not doing what we've done before kind of thing. That's why we're not seeing the Goblin, because they won't do the Goblins, because they kind of have done the Goblin but they haven't.
Well, they haven't done there's a Hobgoblin, yeah, because it was always who's the Hobgoblin. Turns out he's a fucking fashion designer, but it made more sense that it's like he saw the stuff, took the stuff, decided to become a criminal. Fair enough. But she's ginger.
The fact when they said Mayday Parker, I went, because right, people have said an MJ. It could be Mayday Parker, because wasn't her middle name something? It was Mayday something. Parker, wasn't it? I think her middle initial was J something. It could be that, or they could be doing that for it. It could be. The fact is that M is the initial that's been back, and everybody's gone, oh, it's Mary Jane. If it is Mayday Parker, it has to be done in a. It can't all be multiverse.
I don't want multiverse crap. I don't want multiverse crap. So what was the?
I don't. because I think Toby, what's his face, is going to be in the Avengers movies as Spider-Man. Or certainly the first one. I think Tom Holland might be in the second one. They're not done with multiverse yet. That's the whole point of this last.
But given the fact that it looks like it's criminal underworld, I put more money on Daredevil showing up than a multiversal version of thingy. Pardon?
He already has shown up, but just as Matt Murdock, not as
as Daredevil. If it's a gang war, Daredevil. Seriously.
It would be cool to see the both of them on screen together.
Yeah. But
I like the idea of Scorpion. I like them, and the guy that they've cast. You know, when we first saw that all the way back, I went, "Yeah, that's quite good casting." And if it's true, I'm on board for that. As to who Sadie Sink is, if it is Mayday Parker, I know you don't want more multiverse shit, and I kind of agree with you, but it better be done right. If it is going to be Mayday Parker, but I can't see how that works. I don't get it. So I am kind of like, I think it is Mayday Parker. I'm sad to say, but I don't understand how they're going to do it unless it leads in, because this was meant to be after Avengers Doomsday, and now it's before Avengers Doomsday, and this movie has already got a script and is already in production because it has to be, filmed, shot, and made and out by next July. So they've only got a year to do it.
Yeah.
So unless this gets delayed, but why didn't they announce it then? So they can't delay this because that'll mean that they won't have any releases in the summer next year. So their summer blockbuster is going to be Spider-Man 4.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the chat. There we go. Got the nice music on. There's a few comments on here. We had quite a bit of news this week compared to last week. So Chuck gets Gold Star. Yeah. He enjoyed Mission Impossible. We'll be talking about that in a bit. Hi, Laurie. Look at the camera, Keith. Wave.
Hi, Laurie.
Yeah, it's like kind of like, my mouse. Fucking thing. I wonder if I have so much trouble gaming. Chuck and I saw Mission Impossible at the movie tavern last night. I enjoyed it. Good. Didn't realise the movie was 2 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah, no, I was cutting it very close. I went to the gym this morning, and I thought I could see if I could make it back in time. You really got a thing for this Sam Hewen guy. You really have. So I just, fucking hell, it's right. Angel's WhatsApped me something rude. So yeah, and then Mrs. is saying hi to everyone, and everyone's going back and forth. Nah. I'm sure this is Doctor Who stuff, Keith. Saying hey, goodbye. Crikey. And it's like kind of, I wasn't focused on Doctor Who talk. Well, I understand. Fucking Ncuti Gatwa was good to put off. Sorry, got distracted. Laurie Kovac, kind of like his brother. Actually, his brothers look nothing like him. That's the... Oh, right. So, they sent a message to the missus saying that they had met my doppelganger in Iceland at a bar. So, Tanith watched said video. She went, doesn't look anything like you. And it was like, kind of, she just made a comment that kind of looked like he could be his brother, although my brothers don't look anything like me. Yeah. And Tanith says she loves Andor. She finally got through watching all of season 1, which is good. So now she can watch season 2 and understand what the hell's going on. She said, plus there's plenty of diversity in Star Wars, Andor/Star Wars, and don't push your face in it either.
No, for the most part.
Hall and Oates? Is that a euphemism? For wanking?
Waste paper basket.
Oh, no.
It's probably one of those kind of things.
Oh, okay. Nope. Anyway. So we got that there. Pedro Fiscal, Biffa, God, Biffy, you're in late. Patrick is as entertaining as a feminist lecture on toxic masculinity. Yeah, he is. And Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And then we got any more comments. And then Angel's in. Hi, Bit Stupid Gamer.
Hey, buddy.
I wiped my lip. I was eating chocolate. Right. So yes, lurking on Twitch too. Yes, that's cool. The Twitch chat doesn't transfer across. I am annoyed with that. I tried getting it working this morning. She could wear a wig. Who could wear a wig?
True.
Oh, Sadie Sink. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about Gwen Stacy. True.
And I checked my texts. Have I got any more? No, I haven't. And it's like kind of Echo's here too, waving pink hand. Fuck. Every time I mention her name, it sets my bloody Alexa off. I only stopped by when I put her on blast on Twitch. So yes. So okay, cool. So we got this here. Chocolate. Yeah, it was chocolate. Look, it was Tony's. This episode of the Monkey Nut Punch podcast is sponsored by Tony's. And I only ate that because I went to the gym and I burnt off like 500 calories and my body's like, you need energy. Oh, okay. I'm going to say anything. Anyway, let's turn this down and what should we talk about? Will we talk about Love, Death and Robots? Do we want to talk about...
I watched a few of them. I haven't watched all of them, but the ones that I did... Let's talk about Love, Death and Robots. The cat one is genius. Cat one.
What's the name of the cat?
Brilliant.
What's the name of the fucking cat? I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of the cat, but the cat one is fucking genius. I love the cat one. And the cat one had me in fucking fits. It was onto a genius. Because, I mean, I've had cats. Cats are cunts. And
Cats are. It's official. Have all the pets you can have in your house. The dog will love you regardless. Cat.
Yeah, you are its slave, and if you have not figured that out yet, then
what was it? Have you ever seen those ones where it's like kind of the dog's like kind of, this person pets me, he feeds me, he looks after me, he waters me, he must be God. And then you've got the cat going, this person pets me, they feed me, they water me, I must be God.
Yeah.
You've seen those ones?
Yes.
Yeah. The cat one was good. I
loved that one.
The mini invasion's my favourite.
Oh, that mini invasion one was like, this would be the kind of shit Gareth and I would make after a vodka session. It's like when the alien sort of walked up with the long thing and just whacked out this massive schlong. And I was like, I know where this is going.
I think the bit where the guy's fucking the cow.
Yes. Yes. I know, because it was the bit where it wasn't that he starts off with it, right? He was like, he's doing the things like, guy milking the cow, and then he just like casually takes down his shoulders and starts fucking like, this went south quick.
Yeah, it was. I love that. There was one in there that I really didn't take a shine to. I don't know if you've come across it. I'll have to check the bloody.
I watched the one with the vicar and the weird sea creature that was a live action one. The Australian comedian or New Zealand comedian, I think he's new. I watched that one. What others did I watch? You'll have to remind me, because the ones that stick in my head are the cat one and the mini.
Yeah,
those are the two.
The mini invasion one was the one that stuck in my head. So yeah, you had the one with the thing. There was the one when it post-apocalyptic like London. That one I didn't like. That was
there was the cartoon about the sort of devil creature in the Second World War. I didn't take that one.
No, I didn't rate that one either. It seemed the quality of episodes in comparison to what they had before, it's not the same. Yeah, it varies.
I couldn't get through the appliances one. Maybe I just had enough. But I didn't.
The appliances one reminded me of the Aardman animations where you had the animals.
Go back.
You missed the talking dildo.
Yes.
So you've got it, and it's like kind of, in it, it's like kind of, you go through these things, it's like kind of, no. What was it? It's, you had the, I can't remember, it's like the sink, talking sink, and it's like, oh, you got it bad. Then you go to talking toilet, it goes, no, you got it bad, yeah? And then it went to the dildo. And it was just great the way it went all the way through. Always reminds me of that joke, because there's a banana and a vibrator in a bowl. And goes, I don't know what the banana says to the vibrator, I don't know why you're shaking. I'm going to get fucking eaten. But yeah.
I haven't watched them all yet, but I have to say the ones that really stick out, because I really liked the mini zombie one from a while back.
Oh, I loved the mini zombie one.
The mini zombie one was good, and the mini invasion I think was in some ways better. Generally, when they start sort of creating black holes, it was like, I know where this is going. I loved mini invasion. The two that I really enjoyed was that and the cat one. I just thought the cat one. Mini Invasion was great because I'm a huge SimCity fan, so that kind of the look they gave it and the little sort of squeaky voices at times, which sound a bit like Minions. I loved it. And the cat one I just thought was genius.
They had the Red Hot Chili Peppers was the first one, the live concert at Slane Castle.
I didn't watch it.
400 Boys I didn't like. It was alright if you like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, well,
because it's literally just a music video for them at Sloane Castle, but it's them as marionettes. Spider Rose. Oh, I can't remember Spider Rose. I might have to go back and rewatch that one.
No, I don't remember watching that.
Oh, and then there's the one which is the naked people fighting the dinosaurs.
Didn't see that one either.
Okay.
Is that any good?
It's all right. It doesn't seem, it's not as good as the previous. The previous ones where you had, what was it? You had the.
As a season, no, but I think the mini invasion and the cat one are some of its best.
So it's like the previous one. It's like you had the Swarm, which was quite a good one. You had the Rats, which was quite a good one. You had the one with the Cthulhu thing locked in the tomb, which was quite a good one. The Jabraro one, which everyone liked, which I didn't think was as good, but was quite good. The robots one where they're talking about the people, and then you had the second season where you had, oh fuck off ads, thank you. You had the Icebox, which was a live action one. You had Snow in the Desert, which was alright. Tall Grass, which was a good one. All Through the House, which was a scary as shit one, which like kind of you had the demon creature that was coughing up Christmas presents. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Where it coughs up the intercity train. So it must have been like something thingy. You had All Through the House. Then you had the follow-up to Lucky 13, which is Life Hutch. That was quite good. Giant one, which wasn't as good. And then you had the first season. The first season was fucking epic. Now look back at it, yeah.
Yes, it was.
You had Sonny's Edge. You had the 3 robots, which was absolutely fantastic.
But it was quite big the first season.
Yeah,
this
when
was
Yogurt
only
took over.
8 episodes, and the quality wasn't across. But as I said, I think it has some of my favourite episodes in there. I mean, the cat and the mini invasion, as I keep saying, they were by country mile my favourite. I just thought the cat one was perfect. The voice.
What's the name of the cat? Can you remember the name of the cat?
I don't know if it had a name. He got him to call himself something, didn't he? He came up with a name. But he called the robot something as well. But it was just so cleverly done. And absolutely, if an AI of that magnitude got to talk to cats, you could absolutely believe that there'll be fucking robots T-1000 marching the fucking road with bloody cats on the back of them. So I fucking told you.
So,
and cat ladies go, and there'll be cat ladies on the news going, "Oh, I mean well."
Yes. So, not as good as previously. This is probably, I say this is his weakest one, but at the same time too, they did do Secret Level on Amazon. So part of me thinks that maybe that might be what caused it.
As a season, I agree with you, but it did have 2 standout episodes. So, yeah, take me.
Yes.
I did enjoy those quite a bit. So no, yeah, it wasn't a standout season, but those 2 were great. Right.
Okay.
What else are we reviewing this week? Because I don't know what else we are reviewing this week.
We've got Mission Impossible, because I just
Yes.
watched Mission Impossible for the podcast, I'll have you know. Because I was
Yep.
going to see it Thursday, but my mate turned me down. So Mission Impossible, and we've got Star Trek Birthright Parts 1 and 2, which Part 1 was much better than Part 2. But Part 2 had its I'm Spartacus moment. So let's talk about Mission Impossible. Final Mission Impossible. Kind of felt that it was made for people who look at their phones while watching TV, if that makes any sense. Because I watched that and it kept on recapping stuff that I already knew. I'm like, I know this. It's like, yeah, and some of the bits in it was really stupid. So the first things first, yeah, is the nuclear arsenal for all nations is what we lovingly refer to as air-gapped, yeah? And in the UK, it's air-gapped by the Atlantic fucking Ocean, because all our nukes are submarine-based and they require something there. There is a key phrase in the shipping forecast which can cause a nuclear strike, if you didn't know that. But that's when they can't get comms. So they listen to the shipping forecast, and if they hear a certain thing, then they launch. Could you imagine fucking up the shipping forecast and causing a nuclear war?
I maintain, is it the best of the Mission Impossible movies? No, I think Ghost Protocol and probably... It's a toss-up between Ghost Protocol and the one with Henry Cavill in it, which I think are the two among the best ones.
Yeah.
But again, it was. I think it was in some ways better than the first part, except minus one very lovely-looking lady.
I need to put something across here, yeah? Something that bugged the crap out of me. Yeah? The Atlantic Ocean is very cold, yeah? I did a job in the early 2000s where I worked for an oil processing company, and they said that there'd be a chance if they ever sent me out, I'd have to do this thing where they drop me in a tank and spin me around to simulate a helicopter crash. And knowing that, they told me that the water is very cold and you've only got X amount of time to survive in the water, especially when you get towards the Arctic side.
Again, but this...
Why was... But hang on a second. You haven't reached my question. My question goes like this. Given all of that, was it necessary to have Tom Cruise in 2 scenes in his fucking pants? 2 scenes! He was on the treadmill in his pants. He could have had his fucking joggers on, yeah?
In the nicest possible way. In the nicest...
Hang on a second. And then he escaped a nuclear submarine. And how does he do it? He strips down to his fucking pants. No.
If it had been what's her face, right, stripping down to her pants, you would not be complaining.
I would not be complaining, and it would be obvious why I was
if it had been Haley Atwell stripping down to her knickers, I would not be complaining either. I actually looked at him and went, "You're 62, you bastard, and you look that good." What are you? Seriously, I think this is what they do. They fucking freeze him, right? And then, they just bring him out when they need him to make movies. Because how does how he's 60 fucking 2.
So he jumps out of the fucking Osprey, yeah? He lands in the water. Do you know what happens when he was landing in the water? My testicles start to retract, yeah?
But you're
just
not
out of sympathy. I know, but he then did the thing in the Russian submarine. And again, my testicles
hang on, right?
But
But there's so much of this shit that goes on in all of the Mission Impossible movies. I genuinely don't think you can poke. You see, a lot of people have criticised this film, right? Including Gary, and I listened to his review and I went, "You're being a bit unfair."
I'm sorry.
I walked out of that cinema and I had fun. I'm kind of like with Chuck and Laurie, but I really enjoyed it. I left my brain in the door. I didn't think too much about it. I remember thinking when he came out of the submarine, there was one point where I went, "Dad, you'd be dead," right? But I went, "Oh, fuck it, he's not. He's going to be dead. It's Ethan Hunt. They'll find her." And the thing was, right, it was an action movie. It was a refreshing action movie. Was it particularly clever action movie? No. Was it the best Mission Impossible movie? No. Did it have some fucking awesome stunts in it? Yes. Did it have cool shit in it? Yes. Right? Did it have Haley Atwell in it? Yes.
Did you get her baps out? No.
Well, she never does. But I was entertained. I walked out of it having enjoyed it. Did I think about it too seriously? No. Is Tom Cruise, it was a Tom Cruise movie. Was Tom Cruise great in it? Yes. Was he likeable in it? Yes, because Tom Cruise is, despite his, peculiarity, a likeable guy. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's the comment of the podcast so far. That wins comment of the podcast.
But I genuinely enjoyed it. I don't think too much about it, because if I do, I think it would. But this is the thing, because I enjoyed it, I don't think too much about the stuff there. Yeah, absolutely. When he jumped out the back of the Osprey, I agree with you. But it's Ethan Hunt. It's Mission Impossible. It's not meant to be real. It's an action movie, and okay, it's gone to the thing. But look at how many nuclear bombs that they've fucking thing, and how many times they've come so close to dying and not quite died. I'm with Biffer on this. I thought it was awesome. I agree. They don't make movies like this much anymore, and therefore,
I'm going to be honest with you. I did prefer the previous one more.
That's fair. Yeah, but you partly like What's Her Face as well.
Yeah. I
watched that again.
Hang on. Let's just make it clear what you said. That's
you see, now that dress in the first one, that's why Ghost Protocol is a damn good movie. But
I'm not saying it wasn't a good film. It was a good film. I felt that you could probably cut some bits out of it. Yeah, I think the bit where he I can't remember Vin Rames' character. I cannot remember the character's bloody name. Dies. Yes. That was good. I actually like that. That hit. That was like, he's actually dead. That's a really odd one to say. He's actually dead. We've actually killed this person. Was
the bad guy a bit over the top? Yeah. Was he a bit camp? Yeah. Did he die a spectacular death? Fuck yes. He was doing the I have a pat. Gets cut off by the tail.
No, right.
That was
I
fucking
didn't
great.
like that. I didn't like that. I would have preferred it if he'd have fallen off the back of the plane. Hunt would have chased him down, ripped the parachute off him like Ace Rimmer from Red Dwarf, put the parachute off and watch him then.
And what? And then sort of parachuted to Earth on the back of a crocodile. What a guy! Yeah. You would have not complained. I think a lot of the people that have reviewed this have been so used to making negative reviews that they've just, negatively reviewed it. And it's like, you are reviewing a Mission Impossible film. You kind of have to leave your brain in a glass jar.
Look,
at
I'll
the
be
end of
honest
the day,
with you.
what does a movie do? Did it entertain you? Yes. Right? Did it have
seeing
lots of...
seeing a 60-year-old man in his pants in cold water was not appealing.
Did he look like he was a 60-year-old man in his pants?
He did on points.
No, he fucking didn't.
He's not met my father.
He fucking didn't. That's what makes it even fucking worse.
No, only to you, because you don't go to the sim and you gym and dodge salads.
I do, and I did see this on my own. I enjoyed it. It was an action movie. It was a good action movie. Was it a tad long? Yes.
Keith, this is the best movie I've seen all year.
Is it the best movie I've seen all year?
Not in the cinema, that is.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Oh well. It was that particular genre of movie. Yes. I did quite enjoy it today. It got me. It got me and my wife. Right? She goes, "Have you got a tissue?" And I went, "No." She was like, "Why?" So because I need it.
Hang on a second. No. Chuck's got a point. Where the? I'm sure he found it on the back seat. Yeah. I'm sure he found it on the back seat, but what the fuck?
Yeah,
Hang on a second. But the guy was on the back seat flying the plane, so he had a parachute and was sitting on a parachute. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
There was a chute in the spare seat. there was a shoot in the spacesuit, or did he rip it off the dude that he was in the red plane? He got the chute, and what happened was the chute burnt, got caught on fire, and I was like, well, he'll have a backup parachute, won't he? Because everyone does. There's always a secondary parachute in there.
It's always a
So it's like
shit
that was the one criticism I had was like, I knew immediately he wasn't dead. There was no question of it because there was like a second shoot, and everybody knows that. So it's like that was a bit of a fake. You know, that fake out wasn't the best. They have so left it open for another one, and they are probably going to do another one. But they are doing. Whether they do another one with him as the lead, I think he might be more of a mission commander. But I don't know. I mean, he says he wants to carry on making Mission Impossible films, and if he does, well, look, there are far worse things out there.
If he wants to, he wants to. But there's only so many things we can strap him to, and then just launch him. Next Mission Impossible, he'll be strapped to the side of fucking one of the SpaceX rockets.
Well, he's still talking about going into space for a movie, isn't he? I mean, look, he is. I mean, there's been a lot about him this week saying he is the last movie star. And he's saying, no, I'm not. But he kind of is. Like, all-out movie star. And, you know, I mean, he's done a lot for Hollywood, right? He arguably kept Hollywood running during COVID, and that's not that you know, that's not him saying that. That's a lot of people saying that. These movies, they're not going to win any Oscars, but they entertained me, right? If I look at them closely, yes, I could pull them apart, right? But it you know, it's a perfect example of a fast food film, right? Could I go in there, stuff my face with popcorn, come out feeling satisfied? Yes.
You talk about the popcorn.
We could make many uses. I mean, it's like, I mean, I could start making analogies, but, you know, it's going to be insulting. It was a good movie. Was it the best movie in the world? No. Right? Was it the best Mission Impossible movie in the world? No. Was it good? Yeah. Did I enjoy it? Yeah. Did I care about the fact that, you know, he would have died within 5 seconds of coming out of that sub? No. But then if I'd been hugged by Hayley Atwell, I would have come back to life. And not only me, little Keith would have been back to life in a very big way.
Oh, dude, I would be so worried. That would be the first thing coming out of that water. I'd be checking my twig and giggleberries to make sure they're still
Who needs
attached.
electroshock therapy to restart the heart? Just a slight, like, scantily clad Hayley Atwell hugging you? That'll do the job.
We don't have a Hayley Atwell, unfortunately. We've been meaning to.
Not yet.
Okay.
I look, I generally enjoyed it, as I said.
That's actually. He needed to be in tighty whities, like all white in fucking Breaking Bad, because I would have fucking laughed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Vic Rhymes died. That got me in there. That got me sort of there. I liked the ending. I thought the ending was great. I liked the fact that Benji survived. It was like, you're not killing Benji.
I would have killed him.
Sorry?
I would have killed him.
No, you can't kill Benji. Benji's a good character. Benji's a good guy. I mean, you know, I know it's Simon Pegg, but he's a good guy in this. No, look, it was good to me. I enjoyed it. Even the French sort of Asian strange girl was kind of funny in it. I liked the little link back to the first movie, getting the guy back from the first movie who created the thing. You know, the fact that he sort of randomly marries an Eskimo. I love that. I thought that was great.
I didn't think that was. What do you call it? That didn't work for me. That was too coincidental. Yeah, that was way too coincidental for me. I didn't like that. That was, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through some of the comments here. It was a good film. Full stop. I enjoyed myself. I watched it. Was it as good as the previous one? No. Did the stunts take my breath away like it did in the previous one? No, not as much. The bike thing in the previous one made me just go.
Yeah, because you know it's real. But the plane stuff I thought was pretty incredible.
It was funny because there's a bit where you can see Tom Cruise is clearly clinging to the outside of the aircraft, and it cuts to the bad guy who isn't, who's in on a fucking soundstage, and it's quite off-putting because you've got Tom Cruise and he looks quite uncomfortable, yeah, because naturally he's uncomfortable. So yeah, it's you know, the Don't Touch the Duck clip, don't you?
Oh yes.
We had. Did you watch Mickey 17?
I have.
I meant to watch it. What did you think?
It's from the same director that likes to make really nice, lovable creatures, or sometimes slightly ugly creatures, but make them very creature dog-like, and then starts killing them. And I find that very difficult. And they do that in Mickey 17. It's the same director that did that one with the cute sort of little pig things on Netflix. I actually thought it was a better movie than I was expecting it to be. It's very camp, but again, it doesn't surprise me being who the director is. Did he do anything new in this? Not really, because like I'm trying to think of the name of the movie that's on Netflix. It was the one where you have who's the weird woman that played White Witch and she was in the original Doctor Strange as the Grandmaster.
Oh, Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton, right? So Tilda Swinton plays this campus bad guy that owns a meat factory, and they genetically create these creatures to then kill them and make meat, right? But the creature happens to be really cute, right? And it's about a little girl that takes one and tries to save it, but he likes to show the killing of them, and I find that very, very difficult to watch. And they kind of got these alien creatures in Mickey 17. Spoiler, everyone. The camp bad guy in this case, it's played by Hulk actor, and I can't remember her name, but she's in everything. And like campesh evil wife. And they are basically the same character in effect. Slightly off the wall, slightly weird, slightly camp. There is a little bit of wokey pokey in this, I feel. But actually, the guy who plays Mickey 17 and the relationship between him and the other one, that was quite good. The sort of... There were bits in it I really enjoyed. There were science fiction notions in it I kind of enjoyed. There were some funny moments in it. It made me laugh, but I find it difficult to watch them killing creatures that they set up to be really cute. Or not... I mean, these creatures are not cute, but they are kind of nice, good creatures. And I it's just me. I have a problem with that, watching that. But you should see Mickey 17. It's not a bad film. It's not a bad film.
Okay, I meant to go and see it, but I just didn't have the time. You know what it's like when you've got proper life in the way and whatnot. Okay. Star Trek.
I just before we go into that, the comment here. Evil Christian Republican sober play. Yeah, there were bits in there like that. It did have a touch of the wokey pokey. It is not as bad as like a lot of other things. It is not on because I've been watching things like Doctor Who over here and things like that. It's not as on the nose in Mickey 17 as it is in Doctor Who. So maybe I've become a bit too... I didn't notice it as much, but I know what you're talking about. I do agree with you.
Okay. All right. Let's move. So let's talk about Star Trek Next Generation Birthright Part 1 and 2.
Yeah. See, this was an interesting one because we have a two-part A story running through it, and then we have a B story that happens in the first episode.
Yeah.
And the B story was kind of more interesting.
It goes flat though, doesn't it? Data. You can dream. What's going to happen with this? Fucking nothing. Nothing
it
at all.
does. I mean, there was actually a running story with it into the last season, and it does crop up in episodes that because then it goes on to develop the emotion chip and blah blah blah, which actually we see in the next two-parter. So you will see a continuation of it slightly, because the next one is Law and the Borg. That's the see.
I don't like Descent. I'm sorry, I don't like Descent. It ruined the Borg for me.
I did it go flat? It didn't go completely flat. But
No,
it
just no.
100% Wolf.
That whole Data storyline just was like, you can dream. Nothing comes of it.
And we got like
absolutely nothing comes of it.
It's like this. It was almost like they'd done two stories into one, right? Because you were like, oh, they could have done like this interesting Deep Space Nine crossover episode, which they were doing, right? Which I think was the first ever sort of Star Trek show crossover, because they'd done crossover with the movie characters because they'd already done Scotty and they'd done Anna Nimoy and the thing, but this was like a crossover with a currently running show, and I kind of enjoyed it with the interaction with Bashir and the thing. I like you. Do you know who the alien was?
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe that they got James Cromwell to put all that fucking makeup on and not be seen. Hey, James Cromwell, famous actor. Can you know he's there? No, like they did with Mick Fleetwood when they had Mick Fleetwood there too, when he was the fish creature. I did that. I thought Julian Bashir and Data's interactions were really nice. Yeah, I liked that. That was like, oh, that's warm. That's nice. The whole thing with Worf tracking down his father. One point I thought that the first, like the older Klingon there was his father and he was lying and he had to kill him, because I'd forgotten about this, I'll be frank with you. I remembered the conversation with Julian Bashir and Data being hit by thinking. I forgot the dream element of it. But yeah, I watched that and it was it's weird because the guys did the Romulan had achieved something that hadn't been achieved anywhere else, where you had Romulans and Klingons living together without murdering one another. But Worf turns up and does the whole Spartacus thing. Yeah, that was. So yeah,
the Romulan wasn't outright bad.
No, he wasn't, and that's what makes good bad guys.
The Romulan says, we could be here all night. We're not going to convince each other, and he comes to the conclusion, I'm going to have to kill you. And it's not done out of spite, but then there is the cultural conditioning that comes up a bit. And when people start standing in front, he's like, oh, he desperately is trying to hold on to something, and it's done through desperation rather than anything else. And the daughter then sort of goes over to him and pulls his arm down, or was it the mother? I can't remember. It was the mother that pulls his arm down, and he realizes it. But then Worf at first smiles, but then relents, and I like how Worf relents. I like how he comes to the.
It is weird because he's like kind of Klingons and Romulans living together. That's bollocks. That is, and then it's like all of a sudden he's like, well, hang on a second. Yeah, he is, and then he turns around and goes, well, actually, hang on a second. These Klingons aren't behaving like Klingons. Yeah, I'm not even proper Klingon. And I know we should be behaving a bit different to this. So he then starts teaching them Klingon ways, especially the kid that is assigned like as his like kind of jailer for all intents and purposes, where he takes him out on the hunt and he turns around and goes, stand down well for him because we fucking stink. And if he smells us, he's going to bolt, yeah? And then he gets into the hunting thing and goes, you know what? I fucking loved that. We should all be doing this. Why aren't we all doing it? Turns up, big old carcass, slaps it down, dinner. Get the barbecue on. And then they're all like, the Romulans are like pissed off. It's like, dude, it's a clean table, man. What are you doing there? But I like that. And then when they go to execute him, he gets the Spartacus moment, which I was like joking about. He had the thing with the girl. But I thought
that was rushed. I didn't buy the whole the whole relationship thing there. That felt a bit sort of interjected, but everything else I bought, and I like the ending.
If it was more a case of she just wanted to jump him because he was manly, that would have made more sense. If it was more lustful, if that makes any sense, yeah. Hang on a second. Sorry. DC Fontana wrote some of the YouTube episodes for this Star Trek Continues. The actual DC Fontana. The DC Fontana.
I've heard this.
I'm more interested now in DC Fontana. I have to have a look at that. The other thing too is I did like the idea that because it's they parked the Enterprise at Deep Space Nine. If I know it's a ship-based thing, so it always feels a bit claustrophobic, shall we say? It's a ship and a planet and maybe a cave. Yeah, that's how it usually goes. Yeah, ship, planet, cave, or maybe a space station. But because Deep Space Nine is a nice big set and there's people there, it made it feel more a universe a bit more lived in. You know, it's like when we complain about Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker's first season, where it felt like no one fucking existed in the universe, and it's because no one wanted to exist in that universe. But I like that because it makes it feel like it's a big, populated kind of area. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to look at this if DC Fontana has been involved. Sorry. I don't know. I might have watched some.
Is it what era is it set in?
TOS.
Is it TOS?
Like, yeah. We will have to have a look. But it was a good one. I still think, looking back at all the two-parters, the best two-parters of Voyager and Deep Space Nine, Deep Space Nine probably edges it out more because they've got a big, nice big fat war to deal with. But yeah, it will be interesting when we move on to them because as soon as we get put to the third season of Deep Space Nine, that's when things pick up.
The problem with the two-parters in DS9 is, yeah, we can do the two-parters. There's also half a fucking season that is one story.
Yeah, true. But anyway, what did you think of it? What was it like? Kind of.
Oh, I kind of agree with you. It felt odd that you had this B story in one episode, and then it was like, and it
wasn't followed through in the second one.
It wasn't followed through in the second episode. So it was like, was this like two episodes combined into one and also doing a two-parter? It was strange that you had this Data story and, you know, Worf story going on at the same time. And in the first one, the Data story was almost a bit more interesting. I love the bit where he becomes the bird and he flies outside. They'd obviously done some cleaning up and some redone effects because the Enterprise looked fucking awesome against that nebula as he's flying around it. They just looked awesome, and they put texture on the ship and made it look good. And I really like that. I genuinely enjoyed it.
Sorry, Steve, you're going to have to enlighten us about Michael Forrest there. I'm slightly confused. Very confused. Anyway, now we get to the end of the podcast. I'm just going to put in kind of a shameless plug. So, Be a Stupid Gamer's got a Twitch channel. And look, he's featuring on his Twitch channel while he's not there. It's us. Oh my God. It's Inception View. Can
this
you
is
see
kind
it?
of meta.
So if you're into...
No, he's gone again. It's like a delay, right? If you watch, right, it's delayed, so it's going to go again in a minute. It's going to create like this next dimension.
My God.
Hang on, wait for it. When's the next dimension coming? So we've got the fifth dimension here.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to go in a minute.
We can't sit here and watch this thing just...
Oh, it's memorizing. Oh, we've got to wait for the next one because then it's the sixth dimension, Gareth. It'll go in a second because as you were talking about it, it went. Right, and so it's got to go again in a second. But can you?
All right, let's
notice.
Let's do that. It is Inception. So
it is Inception.
We'll leave that there, and I think it's time that we said goodbye. So yeah, if you're into thingy, Be a Stupid Gamer, I'll make sure I put his link in the podcast description for the listeners. So thank you for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Also, he's planning on playing Repo later, and I will be joining in. And I will be picked on as normal, as I demonstrated a couple of weeks back. So if you're up for watching me getting picked on whilst playing Repo, go over to Be a Stupid Gamer's channel, and hopefully, shenanigans will happen. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye for me. I won't do my usual this week. I'll be good. So yeah,
Okay.
check you out next week. Enjoy your holidays tomorrow. We've got on as well in the UK. So yeah, I ain't working tomorrow either. All right. See you later.
See ya. Bye bye.